Right now at 6, the big 3-on-3. Number 1.
We've issued a first alert weather day for a nasty rain and windstorm Sunday into Monday, breaking down everything you need to have on your radar as we head into the weekend.
Number 2.
This will happen again somewhere, and I want to be a person who can rush into that ER and help somebody.
A Yukon student's father gunned down in the mass shooting in Lewiston, Maine. Her pledge to save others and honor his memory. Number 3, a New Haven City employee under the microscope after allegedly flagging undocumented citizens to the federal government. The questions we're working to get answered. Now on Channel 3 and streaming on WFSB+. This is Eyewitness News at 6.
First up now on this Friday night at 6 o'clock, we start with a live look at our First Alert Futurecast. A round of heavy rain and gusty wind is heading our way right now, spelling some trouble for the end of the weekend. Hi, everybody, and thanks for joining us right now for the news here at 6 tonight. I'm Mark Zinni, along with Chief Meteorologist Mark Dixon. He's been following this system every step of the way, talking about it all week long, and now the rain looks up maybe a little more intense.
And a little sooner, too.
Okay.
So, yes, both. We've upped our rainfall totals, and it's going to be impacting more of our Sunday as opposed to Sunday night into early Monday. So a quick note as well. Typically, we give you the first alert for isolated nuisance, lower impact type of weather events. Much more on our first alert weather day. Time out the worst of the wind, and again, a better examination of that rain, and of course, what happens behind the storm system. A big drop in temperature in the first alert 7-day.
I pulled over on the side of the road, and that's when I broke. Like, the anxiety was just too much.
An emotional story you will only see tonight on Channel 3. The daughter of a victim in the Lewiston, Maine mass shooting is speaking with us. Bethany Welch lives here in Connecticut. She rushed to Maine, though, when she heard her father, Joe Walker, had been shot. Tonight, Bethany is telling Channel 3's Dylan Fearon what made her dad so special and how she's honoring his memory.
He was my best friend. He was my best friend. Not gonna cry.
It's been 6 agonizing, heart-wrenching weeks for Bethany Welch.
Trying to stay busy, really, and it helps me not think about it, but at nights it's when you calm down, it's when it like really hits you.
It hits her that her loving father, Joe Walker, is dead. A manager at Schmenge's bar, Joe was killed in the horrific Lewiston mass shooting in late October. Bethany was in Connecticut, a nursing student at UConn. She also works at Hartford Hospital. That night, she received a text. There was a shooting at the beloved bar and bowling alley.
I called my mom first, and then that's when she was like hysterical on the phone, and she was screaming, like, I can't get to Dad. Dad's been hit. They won't let me into Schmenge's.
Bethany rushed to Lewiston, and 14 hours later, police confirmed to her Joe was killed after bravely confronting gunman Robert Card, trying to save people.
He was an amazing dad. He was just a giving guy.
Joe loved Christmas, especially wearing this elf costume. A passionate Red Sox fan, too. But more importantly, being a great girl dad. It's difficult for Bethany to talk about Joe, but when she does, it's still with a glowing smile, wearing a Lewiston Strong sweatshirt on campus.
He just loved putting a smile on people's face. The joy this season was for Christmas, giving, just all of it. Like, he was the embodiment of Santa almost, and it was amazing growing up with.
3 days before the shooting, Bethany says she talked to her father, Joe, for hours. He had called to check on her. During that phone call, Bethany told her father all of her goals she wants to accomplish in the next couple of years. Graduate from UConn next week, start working in an emergency room, marry her fiance, and buy a house. Joe responded, "Go for it, daughter. Do it." Bethany's sticking to those plans for him.
This will happen again somewhere, and I want to be a person who can rush into that ER and help somebody. And my biggest goal in nursing now is, if I can prevent a daughter, a mother, or a son in America from feeling the loss that my family has felt, then I did my job as a trauma nurse.
In stores, Dylan Fearon, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
Tonight at 6, an Elm City staffer is now on paid leave after she allegedly flagged dozens of marriages involving non-U.S. citizens for potential fraud. Now, New Haven is investigating to see whether she violated an executive order designed to strengthen its sanctuary city status. Channel 3 New Haven Bureau Chief Matt McFarland sat down with the mayor today and is joining us with more tonight. Matt.
City Hall tells us letters will be going out to impacted couples, letting them know their information was flagged to immigration.
I and so many other members of our team at City Hall are dedicated to helping everyone in our city, no matter whether they have documents or not.
But Patricia Clark, New Haven's registrar of vital statistics, is now on paid leave for allegedly flagging more than 70 marriages to federal immigration officials over a 3-month span for suspected fraud.
She stated that they were questionable. And what questionable means in her mind is something that I think that we will have to figure out.
While the city hasn't said what caused Clark to flag the marriages involving non-U.S. citizens, immigrant rights advocates tell Eyewitness News it's concerning.
How you can decide what in your mind, or what is the rules that you decide that something is wrong with that marriage,
3 years ago, Mayor Justin Elliker signed an executive order strengthening protections for undocumented residents. As part of the order, a person's information could only be shared in certain circumstances, like if required by the federal government or as part of an ongoing criminal investigation.
There's a question of whether or not the employee violated that order.
That's because there are also questions over whether the city's executive order could be in conflict with a state directive.
In February, a state employee of the Department of Public Health notified the employee that is out on leave now that if there were concerns about questionable marriages, she should contact the Office of U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services. So we'll be having conversations with the state to make sure that our employees are following the appropriate protocol as well.
Going forward, we're told if an employee is looking to flag immigration with someone's information, it will first need to be approved by the city's health director, which oversees the Office of Vital Statistics. Reporting in New Haven, Matt McFarland, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
I'm Brian Reed, jumping in from the First Alert Desk now. Police in Massachusetts are still on the hunt for the man they say shot and killed a Connecticut woman overnight. We're told officers found Stephanie Beatty dead in her car just before 12:30 this morning in Brockton, Massachusetts. This is a scene you're looking at now. Police have identified the gunman as Gelson Fernandez and say he and the victim knew each other. A warrant is out for Fernandez's arrest. As soon as he is in police custody, we will make sure to give you the first alert, both on air and online. For now, at the First Alert Desk, Brian Reed, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Brian, thank you. Also right now, demolition work is already underway on Main Street in Manchester after a dealership was destroyed by a huge fire this morning. Look at this. Investigators say that fire may have started from someone welding in the building. Firefighters say combustibles from the cars inside made it very hard to get everything under control. The fire also spread to a nearby home. Fortunately, everyone inside both buildings did make it out safely. Manchester's water department is still urging people right now, though, to conserve water tonight. The water department issued that alert because of that fire and the large amount of water they had to use. Also, a pipe broke at the plant today. The alert is expected to wrap up around 8 o'clock tonight, and that's when they say repairs should be finished and the water should be back in order. New for you right now at 6. State lawmakers say houses of worship in Connecticut will soon have access to nearly $5 million to improve security. The money is part of a bill passed in 2019, but state leaders are getting the word out right now amid a rise in anti-Semitic and anti-Muslim incidents. The funding does need to be approved by the Bond Commission, which is set to meet on December 15th. Still ahead right here tonight, new details on a crash that killed a couple in Bristol. Why police say the driver may have been at fault. Plus, more on that nasty weekend weather heading our way. Mark Dixon has the first alert on how it could impact your Sunday plans. And we'll take you to one of the country's most magical Christmas towns, the holiday hype that put Essex on the map.